I think we are live. Hello, you guys. We're going to wait a few minutes. I'm going to pull up all the questions while we're at it. And I want to introduce you guys to my business partner here in a little bit. So, let me pull up the event, see where we're at, and then we're going to rock and roll. Just so you guys know, we're at Kona, Hawaii. And we've been there for quite a few days, so I said, Sean, why don't we be cool if we do this session while we're in Hawaii? And so I volunteered in our time here to make sure we make this happen while we're out here in Kona, the coffee land.
We're actually north of Hilo now.
North of Hilo?
Yeah.
Nice. This is like coffee capital. So, fun fact. Let me give you a fun fact about Kona coffee. Vast majority of the coffee you buy anywhere outside of Hawaii, for them to call it Kona coffee only requires 10% of the beans to be in it, which means 90% of it is some other beans are mixing with it. So, what a shame, but just so you know, because we bought a bag here for $45, you could probably get it for Costco for 15 bucks, but it only has 10% beans. The $45 bag here has 100% beans. So, anyway, what we'll do today is go over the questions, and then we'll go through just a quick session and we'll wrap up. So, if you have any questions also as we're going through the live feed, put them on. And I don't know, Sean, if you're on with us. And I'm going to text Sean, make sure we're good. I think we are. AkaShawnThomas. And then we'll get started here. So, hey, Sean, can you see us clearly? Yeah, give us a thumbs up if you can see us clear and good. The signal shows here that it's pretty good, so I just wanted to confirm that we're good there. Let's see where we're at. Actually, I can look it up here. Where are we at?
Don't shake the car.
Hold on. All right, so while we're doing that, I don't know if we're in. Most won't. Okay, guys, I'm just making sure we are live because I don't see it from my screen. Oh, there you go.
Oh, good.
We're good there. So we are in there. Perfect. All right.
That's Instagram. Instagram.
This is Facebook Live on their group, yeah. Okay, all right, we're gonna get started here. And I know this is replayed throughout in the content of the group here, but right next to me is my business partner, Jeff Brookshire. He's been in retail executives, runs I don't know if they're in the billions, but I mean big companies like Target, Bath and Beyond, and help expand their distribution and expand their companies and expand in different areas. And what he's done, he took all that experience in leadership management and brought it in our industry and has utilized his past background to grow an incredible company here with us. And I've been in business with him for close to 7 years now, and he's done incredibly well. And he's one of the fastest rising business leaders in our entire company. So I promise Sean, I'll have him on this live feed with you guys, and we'll pound on some questions right now, and we'll go over some of the things that me and Sean discuss about this. So let's do this. Jeff, you want to just say hi while I pull this up?
How are you guys doing? In case you're curious, that's the ocean behind us. You can see right there, the ocean. There's some sort of plant. I'm not really sure what that is, but we pulled over in the middle of north of Hilo to do this for you guys. And this gentleman here, you guys don't know, the guy's very, very modest, but in mid-30s, multi-millionaire, just a smart, ambitious, crazy, great building gentleman and a good friend of mine. So glad to be here with you guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jeff. All right, so we'll do Gab's question. Hi, Paul. While I've been accumulating business knowledge like crazy, I haven't been doing the same when it comes to connections. I barely know anyone in my country who's an entrepreneur like I am, and I know very few people in my industry. and I've been looking for networking events but couldn't find many of them in my area. Do you have any tips on how to start building a network of acquaintances from scratch? Also, how do you personally like to break the ice when you're kicking off conversations with strangers at networking events? All right, you have some input on that? Yeah.
One of the best things you can do is you network with anybody that you see wherever you're at, grocery store, a restaurant, whatever. And the best way to do it is to give someone a compliment, because people in this day and age don't compliment other people. They basically ignore other people, or they want something from somebody. And you go, man, you look sharp, you look great, what do you do? And when you ask people about themselves, what typically happens is they'll tell you about themselves, and they'll eventually ask about you, and now you're not strangers anymore. And that's really the first step to any kind of conversation. Everyone that you know that's a friend now was at one point a stranger. And you got to talk about something, and there's going to be some commonality, and people love to talk about themselves. It's a great topic.
So there's probably a couple key points in what Jeff's mentioning. One is be interested as opposed to be interesting, right? You're interested on them and their being, and people want to be around people that make them feel special. So the fact that you're being interested in them, automatically there's a connection there, and there's a place of value you're bringing in, and you're exchanging, you exchange info right there. Looks good, Paul. Thank you. All right, Sean. Sean's with us right now, so perfect. The other thing also I want you to keep in mind, probably the best thing while you're connecting with people is, I like to do it with no agenda in mind. When I say no agenda, I'm coming from a neutral state. It doesn't mean I'm not going to get their number. Obviously, my outcome is to make contacts, exchange numbers, and exchange info. But I would have no agenda as far as an outcome, per se, where it's a neutral. I'm coming from a neutral place. I don't need anything. I want to give value, but in the same token, right? In the same token, I'm not desperate for it. I want to come from a place of value, right? So just keep that in mind while you're doing that, and and make it a natural part of your life. I think if you make it a natural part of your life as opposed to a to-do list, then it's great. Like a natural part of your life, what Jeff was mentioning, is you make it to a point where, how about if part of your day was making people feel special? What if you're that kind of being now? So now you change your whole aura and being as opposed to an agenda, right? Or a to-do list. Now it's just part of your being, and you naturally gravitate to people just like you. You attract people just like you in your business just by having that aura on a daily basis.
Call it being friendly.
There you go. Common sense, huh?
Right.
Right. So even if you look at if you're married right now, at one point your wife was some sort of stranger and you connected somehow, and you just make that as part of your ritual as far as meeting people and accumulating friends, and obviously some of them are going to turn to great friends, and some of them stay as an acquaintance. So all right, let's go with Robin Turpin. Hopefully I said that right. Did I say it right?
Where's it?
Right here.
Yeah,
I think I did. Yeah. Hi, Paul. With networking for my future business in mind, I realize that my target market changes with my location. That's about right. Like in Hawaii here, I don't know if we can recruit a lot of people to work here, especially in Kona.
right.
Currently, I'm working on a product that is specific to the local community. How would you recommend networking with this community? Now, I need more details on what that meant. If you're on live here, or maybe you can give me, did you get the question, Jeff, or no?
Yeah, I got the question. So you have a very specific product to a very specific community. The way you network is basically you get to know a bunch of people, you find out what they do, find out ways you can help them, connect with them, and then let them know what you do. They're going to eventually ask anyway. And so if it's a specific knowledge, let's say it's a coffee mug. You want to have coffee mugs. You find a coffee shop, and you go, hey, who do you know that likes coffee mugs, and kind of spread the word around about what it is you do. Because even if it's specific to a particular area, there are people that need it, and so, or you wouldn't have done the business, I hope. So you spread the word that this is what you do. If you're an Italian restaurant, you spread the word that hey, I have an Italian restaurant, it's pretty good, and you want to spread the word, and who do you know, that sort of thing. And maybe people don't eat Italian at this particular place, but you can kind of start a new trend. Go, hey, check out my restaurant, and provide value to them, and at least be somebody that's friendly to them, and they know what it is that you do. That's just kind of basics, but that's what I would start to do.
Perfect. Thank you. Hopefully that helps. Again, if there's any more specifics, you can send a direct message on this. But questions for Paul on the live stream tomorrow. Okay. I'm in a network marketing industry, and I do most almost everything offline at the moment. However, I want to start using the power of the internet and social media to start attracting quality leads and prospecting, as well as retailing. I was thinking about starting a personal brand, creating a log, running ads, and everything else that comes with online marketing, so that we can have that system in place. Where are we at here? While I'm out building my business offline. Any suggestions on where to start and how to go about this, and any other recommendation to build my business? Well, just so you guys know, me and Jeff built the entire company from no online presence whatsoever, which can, obviously, we were just with my mentor Ed Milet yesterday, or for dinner, whenever that was. It felt like yesterday, or a couple days ago, a couple nights ago, and he did the same thing. But obviously, is social media or anything else gonna build your business for you? The answer is no. Is it gonna help grow it? Yes, right? And so it might grow by 20, 30, 40% more than what you're doing. So obviously, does it enhance it? Obviously, yes. And this day and age, obviously, we're implementing a lot of this. Even this, obviously, this coaching session is online. We can be in different parts of the world and be able to mentor different people from all sorts of the world, which is phenomenal. So,
well, I'll give you a piece of advice. If you want to sell something and you try to tell somebody, hey, here's some great thing I want to sell you, people don't like to be sold. There's an automatic resistance to being sold. But if you can find value, something that they need, that's what you want to ask yourself. What does somebody need? How can I fill that need? And how do I monetize it? And there are a lot of different ways to monetize things, but direct retail sales, like selling from a website, if you have a small traffic, it's a very small scale. You got to ask yourself, what's my distribution method? How am I going to monetize it? And how do I do it immediately? How do I do it long term? But ultimately, there's someone who needs the product that you have, unless someone already has that product, in which case it's probably not a good product, or if there's no need. But if there's a need, you just got to find out, how do I reach the people who have that particular need? And it could be phone calls, it could be networking, could be personal conversations, it could be just asking, hey, I'm in this business, you're a business owner, what do you think? How can I get across to people? You can basically tell people what it is you do and ask them for help. Especially if you're willing to help them and be friendly to them as well, because everything is an equal relationship when you're building a network.
And while you're building your brand, just keep in mind that you're the brand. You're recruiting people to you. So when Jeff is doing a recruiting appointment, recruiting his next top stud in business, right? He's recruiting him to Jeff, not to me, not to the company. It's to Jeff and his leadership. Because in the end of the day, everything rises and falls in leadership. And so you're recruiting to you. That's why these mentorships, for example, these 13 mentors along with Sean, is a big deal, because it helps grow you. It helps grow your identity. It helps grow your leadership. It helps grow your wisdom, right? And as you look at that, it's your ability to lead after, as you learn all these concepts and tools and leadership traits and selling skills and influencing ideas. Basically, you'll be able to influence your own team and grow your own team. And so you're recruiting them to you. At the end of the day, you're the brand. You're recruiting them to you. So, because a lot of that, I think, branding question and creating, that. So, you can do all the logs, ads, all that stuff, but at the end of the day, you're going to attract people in direct correlation to your capacity to lead. So anyway, just hopefully that helped, Kyle. So, all right. Lalana West. When building a team, how do you suggest diversifying salary, hourly rates? Maybe you can share some of that from your corporate side. But when building a team, how do you suggest diversifying salary, hourly rates from different team roles? I have a small team of 3, right? Okay, so pretty. We help each other and work together. It's a really great team. However, one is a sales rep and one is a cleaning and setup crew. I assist with both these roles, and I also delegate tasks. Both the jobs are different. I want to be appreciative and show that their efforts are seen. Yet I don't know if their salary hourly rate should be the same, especially if I'm there to help them, and should I be helping? There's a long question, so let me just wrap it up. I just feel that I need to be present sometimes to show and take ownership of the business and lead our team, and each week is different. Some weeks more cleaning and setup is needed. I just want to do the right and smart thing. Thank you so much for your time and expertise.
Well, I mean, you're a business owner and with a business of 3, you should be present all the time. I mean, even in a team of 30, you should be present all the time. And if I look at people who have large businesses, 300 employees, the more present they are, the better their business is. But traditionally in the business world, sales gets paid more than the people who execute, because without the sales, you don't get any revenue. So the best way for sales is incentivized, right? You get a small salary and then you pay for performance, right? That's driven industry for many years. So the more they sell, the more money they make, right? So you allow the salesperson to make more money. The more money they make, right, the more money you make. And so you incentivize them for selling. And in terms of the cleanup crew, I mean, you got a small team of 3. Here's the other thing I would go, just to reel it all the way back. They need to buy your vision of where this thing is going long term, not just short term. I'm making a couple of bucks on hourly or salary, right? It's here's where we're going as a team. Here's what we're going to do in the future. Here's what it means for you. And the more you put value for them, the more they'll buy into it, and you guys will all move together. Like people will work. You know, there's some companies people will work even when the companies aren't paying income because they bought into the vision. They're a family and they're all going there together. It's not the business owner makes all the money. So literally, when you're starting a business, you don't expect to make a lot of money, but down the line you do, and you sell them on the stream of, we do this together. Here's what's in it for you, you know, so on and so forth. All the guys that started with Steve Jobs and Apple, they bought into his vision, and they all became millionaires because of it. Does that help?
Hopefully. All right. If not, try something else until it helps, until it works. Let's wrap up with and then we'll show them the view here real quick, and then
Sure.
we got an adventure to do. We're
Yeah.
going to the falls, black sand beach.
We're actually on vacation.
Yeah. But this is cool stuff we do, man. This is not work to us. Right?
This is fun.
Yeah.
But by the way, before I say anything else, our business first and foremost, and your business first and foremost, is always about people. It's not about products, not about distribution. It's about people first. It's about people last. You're identifying needs. You're building a team. You're helping them with their needs. They're helping you with your needs. It's all about people, and you've got to always put people first. That's just really, really solid advice.
It's gonna be hard to win if you don't like people.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially if you have to engage with them a lot. So,
You need customers. Customers are people, right?
so let's do this. This is the last thing we'll do, and Shauna, you're watching. If you want me to bring up anything, let me know. But here, let's do this. This is some key points from Sean as far as conversation. We already did some of it, but we'll elaborate on some of them. So talk about what it's like to build a team, what it's like to motivate people, what it's like to help people expand their mind and turn into a real talk where you get people to really open up their mind to something bigger, right? So boom. So we'll get that right there. That's that. So let's talk about a couple of things, because we do this on a weekly basis. We have basically leadership trainings twice a week, sometimes more, 3 times a week. Again, because we believe that everything rises and falls under, with leadership, and that's from John Maxwell himself. That's not something I created. Obviously, that's from John Maxwell, and everything rises and falls on leadership. So when it comes to motivating people, part of it too, we talk about we can motivate them also, but there's also part where we help inspire them and grow their minds and stretch their minds. And a lot of that, I mean, small wins lead to bigger wins. And so I think as part of the ritual, as part of the regiment on a daily basis, if you can get people to get the small wins and then expand them to the big wins, winning, I was just talking in front of, I don't know how many people that was, maybe 1,000, no, maybe 800 people in a room the other day here in Hawaii with the entire company. And success is not a giant event. It's a series of small events that shape your minds, shape the way you feel about yourself, shape the deserving you feel about yourself, and then basically you wake up 90 days out and then you popped your income, or your income grew, and then your identity grew a little bit, and then you do that again in 90 days. There's another stretch where you stretch your mind, and then you compound that now. There's a great book called Compound, which one? The Compound Effect. Yeah. Right? And things are not Darren Hardy. And things are not built obviously in a day or a week, but you compound 90 days of effort on what it does on your habits, your rituals, your mind, you also the deservingness. There's a lot to do. There's a direct correlation between you and your self-worth and the success you're having, right? One of our mentors always mentioned that, you know, your income right now is direct reflection of what you think you're worth, right? And you will never out earn your self-worth. And so again, I'm going to link it back to this. Part of you being part of this mentorship group, right? There's 350 of you guys now in the group. Stop shaking the car, whoever that is. All right. So part of you guys being part of the group, right, this is an association where you get to shape your identity and grow your identity and be part of the Millionaires Club and think like one and act like one. And then eventually, basically, you and again, some of you guys can't just do one session. That's why I saw what Sean put, like, if you only plan to be in this for a month, don't even sign up. I want you to be here for the next 6, 12, 18, 5 years and let this compound, right? Let the learning compound, let the efforts compound, let the advice compound. So anyway, hopefully that helps. Jeff, if you can share some thoughts on that.
You know, it's like going to the gym. You don't see the results at the gym after a week. You just don't. It takes a long period of time, a change in lifestyle, and you start to see pretty amazing results. Same thing's true when you're building your identity. You can't build a business unless you build your identity, right? You just can't. Your business will be limited by how you feel about yourself. You can't hire someone else to build your business because they'll never have the vested interest you do. So you got to really work on yourself. It means reading good books, associating with good people. Any business in the world involves you investing time, investing money into it before you really get the large income coming out of it. So that's the thing. You can't out earn your identity. I think any business out there, it's about 80% psychological and 20% technical. So if you're caught in the technical part of it, you got to really read some good books. You know, Think and Grow Rich, The Compound Effect. You know, watch Ed Mylett's podcast. You know, connect with people who are really good at business in general, and adopt some of their mindsets. Because some people are really good at connecting to people. Some people are really good at networking, which I guess it's the same thing. Some people are really good at selling a vision and selling a dream, and you've got to get good at that, because no one's going to be able to communicate your dream better than you. And you have to have the confidence, because people feel energy, right? You talk to somebody, they're going to feel your energy, they're going to feel your confidence, they're going to feel your identity of who you are, and they're going to do one of two things in their head. They're going to go, I buy it, I don't buy it. Right? I buy it, I don't buy it. Because like advertising is just to get a foot in the door, just to get the customer in the door. A resume is to get your foot in the door. You know, training like this is to get your foot in the door, but the rest of the journey has to be from you. And you want to hang around people that are constantly working on themselves and working on business. They'll make you better. Like people like this dude, right? I'm around Paul, I just get better, right? We have energy is this thing that is contagious, right? You don't want to be the person who's always passive, always watching, always observing. You want to be the one watching the movie. You want to be the one directing the movie, the one acting in the movie, the one starring in the movie. You want to be the star of your own show. So you got to work hard. No substitute for that. You got to evaluate how someone that's above you in the business or above you in society looking at you going, hey, you could probably tweak this and probably tweak that, and you got to work on it constantly. And the money you invest in stuff like this is invaluable. And by the way, we have we have nothing connected here. I'm just helping Paul out because I love speaking about this business. Paul loves speaking about business. Business is your life. That's why we're willing to pull over on our way to Waterfall to come talk to you guys about leadership, because we'd prefer to talk to you about people about leadership any day of the week, right?
Oh yeah, this is our business, man, and this is part of loving the game. You know what I mean? If you didn't love the game, you don't do stuff like this. You don't do what AkaShawnThomas is doing. Just the amount of time and energy it puts together. I mean, you could do the math. That's not enough money to pay him. He deserves way more. The value he brings to you guys is a lot more than what he's getting paid for this. The $49 a month you're paying or whatever it might be. There's a lot more value in what he's doing. I mean, that's nothing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, $600 a year.
How much would people pay for Warren Buffett to get investment advice? Say, hey, could you not only give me investment advice, but be my investment coach for the rest of the next 10 years?
Yeah.
What would people pay for that?
Yeah.
Millions.
And that's why there's a part of it where you can't take this for granted. Because I used to pay someone, it was $1,000 a month, and my job was to be accountable to him every day, right? And so that made me my rituals, my habits, right? So it was worth paying him $1,000, because obviously because and then on top of that, if I didn't fax him back then there was no email wasn't a thing, it was fax. So if I didn't fax him my accountability sheet, I was penalized $20 on top of that every single day. So literally I was paying someone $1,000 a month just to do that and do an accountability sheet. I literally just faxed him. And then we would have an assessment every week. We would have a weekly call. So that's what I paid him for, to assess it. And it'll tell me what I'm not doing, what I'm doing wrong. But without the absence of that, right, maybe I didn't build my habits at the time. So some of you guys, don't take it for granted. You need to treat this like you're paying several thousand a month, because that's what you have access to here. Just like the business we're in, it's so insignificant how much money you need to invest. It's almost nothing, right? Several $100. Just for some licensing and all that. And a lot of times people take it for granted, you know, because vast majority of businesses require several $100,000 to invest. And McDonald's is 2 to 3 million just to get it up and running. And so don't take that for granted. Don't take the mentorship for granted here. And basically, you know, bring one of the critical things about business, if you can give value to other people's lives, then you're in business for a long term. So that's the whole message, right? And then you're mission driven now. So when you're communicating with people, you're prospecting people, you're making calls, you're turning strangers into friends, you're in a networking event or whatever it might be, you're constantly giving value, you're vibing, right? You're coming from a place of mission first, the needs of the team second, and then the individuals last. That's kind of how it is in a business world, right? Especially if you're the entrepreneur. So anyway, any last thoughts, and then we'll just show around here.
The reason you pay for someone for accountability is because you're learning how to hold yourself accountable. You're taking a skill set they have and you're absorbing it, and you'll be able to use it for the rest of your career. And it's priceless. It really is. This kind of stuff's great.
Hello, Michelle. Thank you. Mentorship here is amazing. Thank you. We have Nicole said you can't build your business until you build your identity. You can build it too. I mean, you should be able to do both. Right, you should make some money while you're building your mind.
Earn and learn.
Yep, earn and learn. I'd be in the streets with my kids if I didn't earn while I'm learning, right? Yeah. That'd be a hard deal. Because you stumbled quite a bit, but you were making a couple $100,000 while you're trying to learn it. So he was trying to figure out the business and was making a couple hundred, like over $250,000 while screwing up. So you can screw up and make money at the same time. Because obviously there's a lot also where you're coming in already with certain knowledge and skills. You didn't come in with nothing, right? And so there's strength that you can utilize immediately and all that. So
and by the way, you know, it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. So you always want perspective that's different than yours. Obviously, you know your own perspective. You want someone else to give you additional perspective, which groups like this give you an incredible amount of perspective, and perspective allows you to really clearly see what you've got, and then you can take action and win. And we hope you win.
All right, sounds good, you guys. Anyway, we're right here. We're about to leave. We pulled in. That's the highway. We pulled into this, I think it's a residence because there's a mailbox right there. We pulled up, and we're going to head back to the waterfall. So, well, we haven't been in the waterfall, have we?
No, we're going to head back to get it to the waterfall.
And then we'll go to the Black Sand Beach. That's pretty cool.
Beach.
Black Sand Beach. It's a pretty awesome beach. Anyway, we'll see you guys. Thank you. Jeff Brookshire, Paul Ireton. See you at the top. The bottom's crowded.